Hey you guys, it's MJ. How are you? I felt inspired to go live today, and when I sit with what I want to share, it was just a mid June energy report. I've had an emotional storm today, so I'm feeling pretty kind of calm and centered after processing it and realizing that letting go and transformation really is an ongoing process. And right now we're sitting in pretty heightened energies, and there's a lot of underlying energies that are bubbling to the surface. So in the present moment it can often feel pretty intense when we're having to once again review things, look over things, take responsibility for things, and then the storm passes and we often have great clarity after, great calm, serenity, and peace. Because in honoring the pain of any emotional storm, which really is a karmic backlog of sorts, so there's trauma inherent in our lives usually, unless we're really in the flow and really harmonized in every area of our lives. And I would say it's because it's cyclical. We're just constantly kind of peeling back layers, rising, falling, looking at different angles, and there really is no right or wrong. But our falsehood, you could say, our ego is just often really kind of hooked on an outcome, really hooked into expectation. And so we're really shedding a lot, and so feeling quite heightened and possibly observing and holding space for people in our environment who are also shifting stuff. A lot of us will be aligning with more like minds as well, and ultimately learning and completing this cycle. And it's relevant, right? Because it's the 6th month in this year, which is it's like a total turning point, and it's the height of light in the northern hemisphere. So we're being bathed in the sun, and we have these really long days, which are sort of, there's like a twofold to this stuff oftentimes, because we are rising and we are expanding, and yet energetically speaking, because we're shifting old programs, we can feel almost bombarded by lethargy, or feel like we're falling back into, like, I call it our default setting. In essence we kind of are, but with this sort of work, the point is that every time we go into that default setting, or every time we notice ourselves, I don't know, just freaking out and reacting, we can notice it even more clearly, and then we can process whatever comes up for us. And that's like, for me, the storm was just looking at another layer and level of my own mistrust, or my own, almost like a holding on to pain, or holding on to a situation, right? And instead of acknowledging the present moment and where I am, and being thankful for where I am, and yet here we are. This is part of why I'm sharing in this present moment, is that I've done enough work in my life that even when I'm dealing with quite deep emotional stew and pain and release and letting go and heartache, um, I've been able to show up for myself and this channel and the Fearless Life Tribe and my business partner, who's become a very trusted and close friend in the inner circle. And it's like my awareness has just completely shifted, and I'm so grateful for that. And the reason why I continue to have to share is that this is a really emotional journey. We're living in very polarized and extreme times, and in those extremities there is perceived chaos, and in that perceived chaos there's emotions. There's beings who are divine, powerful, creative beings who are in conflict with their own self, which is really them in conflict with the emotions that they carry, which is the energy that they carry. And the reason I always come back to share is that there's no veil in as such as wanting to hide any of the depth of suffering, and at the same time the paradox, because we live in such privilege. And it really is that delicate balance of being able to tune into who we are, honor other people, honor the free will of other humans as us, and traverse our own darkness with as much love and compassion and light as we can. You know, it's our own journey ultimately that we're traversing, and it really is our own darkness, this whole thing of like transformation or light work or whatever you want to call spirituality, you know, law of attraction, whatever these higher consciousness or spiritual practices you want to endeavor, they're all ultimately about self-awareness. They're all ultimately about your connection, becoming more aware of what you are and what you vibrate. And so what you vibrate ultimately is creating that world around you. And for me recently, that process has been deep, painful transformation, working through releasing and letting go of old abusive patterns, emotional abuse, my own patterning of just always investing and giving and not receiving anything, and not receiving any kind of emotional support or commitment, and if anything being used, and honoring what that means in my life as far as how I can integrate that and then move forward with a deeper commitment to myself and the relationships that I do have. Because there never is a right and wrong in a situation, the way that our limited mind perceives. There's only ever an energetic dance. And for a lot of us, those energetic dances that we have with other people are healing us. They're transforming really deep wounds. And it's only our own mental perception and grip of what we think life should look like that conflicts us. You know, as I'm driving around and like crying more tears of release and hearing these negative thoughts about people and about, yeah, like pockets of humanity, and witnessing it in my own awareness during an emotional storm is what allows me to own it and then release it. Release it with love and just say, I'm thank you, and I'm ready to let you go. I'm ready for my life to not have these painful cycles. I'm ready for life to not, you know, keep having to teach these profound lessons of unity, basically, right? Because once we can integrate that aspect of unity, then we can really channel clear relationships that aren't codependent. So they're not entangle people in manipulation ultimately, or simply shining light and being reflection, and like, again, consciously dancing with one another rather than unconscious dance in the darkness, right? So we move into this greater self-awareness, which helps us to contain the total self of our own creation, which is the working lives and our relationships and our partnerships and, you know, everything around us. And then we kind of harmonize that from that sovereignty and at the same time the unification through togetherness from within that sovereignty. And it's a unified field because of an aligned vibration and an intention to create that in the new paradigm, to create from a kind of different perspective of love, compassion, and understanding spiritual sovereignty or soul sovereignty in the whole, right? And that then just shifts us back to a more cyclical perspective, which allows us as humans to or sort of cyclically and continuously transform, which is a kind of healthier, more sustainable, more radiant way of being. And it doesn't possess control and thus suck the life force out of the planet and out of us, right? And again, part of this whole sovereignty thing is self. It's you choosing to be who you are. And you see, this is really my own journey. This is really me reflecting back to myself. There's a quote that I came across early on in my yoga teaching journey, which again was very much a guided, like, in a breakdown, guided to do yoga, and then doors were just opening, you know, for like my life force, the universe source saying, go in this direction, right? It's like I knew the yoga. And then now I'm doing a lot more of this. I'm doing a lot more sharing and speaking and writing, and I'm writing a column for an online magazine, and I'm being asked to do another book anthology about emotional awareness. And so there's like these new opportunities, right? And again, in the birthing of this new cycle for me, I'm hearing you teach best what you most need to learn, because as I continue to speak, I realize and write, I realize that I'm actually like, in my own life, I'm giving myself the lessons from the book. So the book that like downloaded through me in service, now I'm having to teach what I need to learn, you know? So I'm traversing this next phase of fearlessness and like expansion and beauty and love and unconditional love and just this amazing life. And I just want to tell you guys that you're not alone when you feel darkness and shittiness and pain, because it's just part of life. And the easier we can be at like just, you know, being present and calm with our energy, the better our lives can be. But we can't hide from our own self. So it's great. This collective emotional awareness is expanding. We are expanding, and yet with every cycle, you know, every month, we can look at things from a different perspective and then hopefully shed them and rise above them and keep moving in that more expansive, fluid, cyclical way. Let life guide you. And if you're also being asked to step into like a teacher kind of role, it makes me want to cry, you guys, because it's like this discernment, these lessons that I'm receiving are just like profound humility, because I don't know anything. Let it happen. Blessings from all the family of life. We shine. Hugs to you, MJ. Thanks, Emilio. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, life is just fucking beautiful, and our emotional like awareness is expanding, and it's a really beautiful thing on so many different levels. I just always want to compassionately share with you guys that it's tough, and we can hit up against walls, and we can hit up against energy of hatred, and we can hit up against energies of fear and limitation, and people around us can tell us that we're wrong and bad and not good enough and stuff. But when we feel wrong and bad and not good enough, it's always in that moment that you can choose, like, I don't have to buy into that. I don't need to believe those people. I don't need to believe what society told me. I don't need to blah, 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 blah. And you can literally just listen to the whispers of your own pure heart to guide you in your own pure dream life. And just as a little side note, again, from myself, but it's probably going to be useful to you guys, just make sure you take some rest. Just make sure you remember to like sit and relax and meditate and be like really, really kind to yourself, because the energy momentum is well and truly accelerating, and it's amazing, like a bliss, like really, really wonderful vibration, because we're shifting and we're able to clear and heal energy pretty quickly. And yet what I'm finding is this like expansion is like reminding me. That's why I do these shares, and I create yoga videos and tribe videos and meditation videos for myself, so that I can keep grounded, so that I can keep relaxed. And then look at how lucky I am, you guys. So I'm staying here. I do this sometimes. I host at this beautiful retreat, and it's in nature. So after I finish this share, I'm just gonna go stand on the grass and have a little stroll. Look, I'm wearing linens. I feel like all summery, even though it's kind of cold out today. But then also check this out. Jackie out. Jackie. Hi, you gorgeous creature. So this glorious retreat space has a lovely new puppy, and like, she's so fucking gorgeous. And again, like puppy love is just the fucking gorgeous juice of life when you need like a little when you need a little bit of love, goo. When you need a little bit of snuggle love. You know what I'm saying, you guys? I have some really interesting insights as well about sexual energy, and I want to do some more sexy flow yoga, by the way. And yeah, cutting loose some old energies. It's like weird. It's weird how paradoxical it can be. Like, you know that you need to be cutting out that energy, and yeah, deep down, or like, but you're still shedding like this emotional, yeah, the emotional pain connected to that painful creation, basically. Anywho, as I ramble, I hope you guys are having a gorgeous day, and I hope that that when you're watching this, you're receiving an abundance of just like love, blissful energy. Have a beautiful, relaxing day. Thank you, Amelia. You too, my friend. Yeah, that you just like get showered with love sprinkles and like this most divine love of unconditional love, just pure acceptance for like everything that you are, all that you are, the depth of your darkness and the height of your light. Like, you are beautiful. You are an amazing being, and you really can create any world you desire. It's inside of you. It's just inside of you. It's not, and that's the most fucked up bullshit to say sometimes, but it's true. It's true. So keep in touch. Stay committed to your heart and just keep loving. That's all there is to it, right? I love you guys. I want to go, peace, 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 because that's what I say at the end of all my yoga sessions. I love you guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll speak to you real soon. Take care. Thanks for commenting, Emilio.